Yeah, I think so.
So in a live game, you saw him play the way he played and still question if he can do the same thing when he has the actual starters at his disposal. We saw it show up. The fact that he's not getting first team reps with the ones or the twos and still went out there and looked the way he did.
He's an accurate thrower, doesn't have a huge arm, moves okay, and when he's got to make big throws in the red zone, he's pretty damn good at it. That's my take. Yours.
Once again, the door to Cleveland's quarterback throne remains half shut for Shedeur Sanders. Despite a flawless debut, despite the poise that turned heads across the league, whispers from inside Berea suggest Kevin Stefanski still isn't ready to hand him the keys. The reports are clear. The head coach is holding his ground, unwilling to tilt the balance away from Dylan Gabriel. And that's when the noise outside the facility roared. Ocho didn't tiptoe. He demanded answers. "You've seen what Shedeur can do," Ocho said, his voice sharp with disbelief. "You've watched him represent this franchise in real games. And yet, you still doubt what he could do if given the starters." On another stage, Shannon Sharpe went for the logic itself. "If you're questioning Shedeur Sanders against Kenny Pickett," he fired back, "how can you be so sure Pickett will perform better?" In that moment, the debate stopped being just about preseason reps. It became a challenge to the decision-making at the very heart of the Browns, a public cross-examination of whether the team's loyalty was to performance or to the plan they drew up before Shedeur rewrote it.
My thing is, he says no reasonable person thinks Sanders will be fully ready to lead a team and consistently attack a complicated NFL defense 3 weeks from now. What about Dylan Gabriel? Has he shown you enough?
There's a new narrative leaking out of Berea, one that says the Cleveland Browns don't believe Shedeur Sanders can handle a complicated defense. On the surface, it sounds like football talk, a chessboard of schemes and coverages. But peel back the layers, and you see it for what it is, an agenda. And it's not about X's and O's. It's about something far uglier, the quiet, unspoken bias that's trailed Shedeur since the moment he walked into the league. Shannon Sharpe didn't dance around it. He went straight at the heart of the Browns' logic. "How?" Sharpe asked. "Do you know Dylan Gabriel can do what you're claiming?" The question stings because we already know the answer. Dylan Gabriel hasn't earned that confidence. His work in camp has been underwhelming. Forget game day pressure. This is practice. Controlled environment. No Shedeur breathing down his neck. No excuses. And still, in a prime opportunity when Sanders sat out, Gabriel managed to complete just 11 of 22 reps, 50%. That's not a stat line that inspires leadership. That's a coin flip. And in a league where inches separate victory from defeat, a coin flip at quarterback is a disaster waiting to happen. But here's the kicker. This wasn't a one-off bad day. This is who Dylan Gabriel has been. Go back to day 8 of training camp. His low point and arguably the clearest glimpse at his ceiling. 14 reps, 3 completions, 11 throws sailed off target. 11. That's not rust. That's not first-week jitters. That's a pattern, the kind that tells a defense they don't even have to respect your reads. From the very first snap, the Browns' own defenders had him figured out, jumping routes like they knew the script. And the more it happened, the more his confidence unraveled. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, healthy, locked in, and delivering precision passes day after day, has been the embodiment of what you want in a starter. Crisp reads, command in the huddle, a rhythm that keeps the defense guessing. The contrast isn't subtle, it's glaring. And yet, the Browns' brain trust clings to Gabriel. Why? Why prop up a quarterback who's shown, in full view of the staff and the media, that he can't sustain drives? Why sideline a rookie who's already shown he can process at game speed and deliver under the lights? More and more respected voices across the NFL media landscape are coming to the same conclusion. Dylan Gabriel will never be QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. He doesn't have the tools, the instincts, or the mental edge to lead at this level. And the fact that the decision-makers in Cleveland refuse to see it, or worse, choose to ignore it, raises questions about what's really steering this ship. So let's strip away the speculation and hear it from the people who know the game best. The senior journalists, the analysts, the former players who've watched every snap and seen the writing on the wall. Because if the Browns won't admit the truth about their quarterback room, somebody has to.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Dylan Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dylan Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Shannon Sharpe didn't just critique Kevin Stefanski. He went straight for the core of the issue. In Sharpe's view, this isn't about fair evaluation. It's about an agenda, an unspoken narrative being pushed against Shedeur Sanders for reasons that have nothing to do with his ability to play quarterback at the highest level. Sharpe laid it out bluntly. Stefanski keeps harping on what Shedeur can't do, while never once acknowledging what he has already done on the field, under the lights, in moments that actually mattered. To Sharpe, that omission wasn't an oversight. It was a choice. And then came the deeper accusation that this might not just be Stefanski's personal stance, that there could be voices above him in the Browns' hierarchy steering these decisions. Pressures from the top, quiet nudges that shape game plans and depth charts, no matter what the tape says. When Stefanski stepped to the podium, it wasn't hard to see why Sharpe and others were calling it bias. There was no spotlight on Shedeur's command in the huddle, no recognition of his quick reads, his poise under pressure, or the accuracy that had silenced so many preseason doubters. Instead, the conversation stayed locked on what needs improvement, a list of flaws without balance, a narrative without credit. In that moment, Shedeur's potential wasn't celebrated, it was buried. And if you listen closely, the silence where the praise should have been speaks louder than anything Stefanski actually said. Now, let's hear the coach's words for ourselves.
But I thought the guys did a really nice job of Shedeur and operating, the guys making plays. So, again, a ton to teach off of.
Then came Ocho, and he didn't just question Kevin Stefanski's stance, he dismantled it. How? Ocho demanded. Can Stefanski even say that Shedeur can't do this? The whole world has seen what he can do. This wasn't a casual defense. It was a pointed reminder, a rewind through years of receipts. Ocho wasn't speaking in hypotheticals. He was speaking from a track record carved into Shedeur's career long before he put on a Browns jersey. From the very start, at Jacksonville State, Shedeur Sanders faced the same doubts, the same raised eyebrows, the same quiet whispers questioning whether he belonged. And every single time, he answered the only way he knew how, by winning the moment, by showing up in the pressure games, by doing exactly what others insisted he couldn't. Ocho reminded the audience that this isn't a quarterback who's ever been given the easy road. He's had to earn every snap, every throw, every headline. At Jackson State, at Colorado, now in Cleveland, the story repeats. The challenge comes, and Shedeur meets it head-on. And so, Ocho's question hung in the air like an accusation. If he's done it this many times, at this many levels, what's the excuse now? Why, after all the proof, are people still so determined to look past what's right in front of them? Because at this point, it's no longer about whether Shedeur Sanders can. It's about why certain people keep pretending he can't.
Wait a minute, but where's the can't coming from when we just saw him do it? I know it's a small sample size. It's 3/4 of football. But everything you said he can't do, he just did. Matter of fact, he just did what we already saw him do at Jackson State. He just did what we saw him do at Colorado.
Ocho wasn't finished. He leaned in even harder, stripping away every excuse and laying the truth bare. Shedeur Sanders has already proven himself on the NFL stage, and he's done it under conditions most quarterbacks would call impossible. He wasn't throwing to star wideouts. He wasn't protected by the team's top offensive line. He was working with third and fourth team players, the bottom of the depth chart. And yet, he shined. Precision, poise, command, all without the benefit of first-team reps, without the chemistry that comes from weeks of work with the starters. Ocho's point was as sharp as it was simple. If Shedeur can perform this well with scraps, what could he do if the Browns actually gave him the full arsenal? This isn't just a debate about talent anymore. It's a debate about fairness. Because while Shedeur delivers on the field, the system around him continues to drag its feet. And that system, Whether by Kevin Stefanski's personal bias, pressure from the front office, or a stubborn refusal to rewrite the script, keeps funneling opportunity toward Dylan Gabriel. But the comparison isn't close. Gabriel's camp numbers are a pattern of inconsistency. Missed reads, off-target throws, and accuracy that crumbles when the pressure mounts. Meanwhile, Shedeur's body of work keeps growing, tight window completions, smart decision-making, and a knack for elevating the players around him. The longer this goes on, the harder it is to defend the Browns' stance. Every game, every practice, every snap adds more fuel to the growing consensus among analysts, former players, and fans. Shedeur isn't just ready. He's earned his shot. And that's what makes this so damning for Cleveland. Because this isn't just about one player's opportunity. It's about the future of the franchise. Every week the Browns hesitate. They risk squandering the momentum, the excitement, and the potential that Shedeur brings to the table. So the questions pile up. Is this really about football? Is it about control? Is there something deeper happening behind closed doors? Or is it simply the unwillingness to admit that the rookie has outplayed the plan? What's clear is that Shedeur Sanders has done everything asked of him, and more. The only thing left is for the Browns to decide if they want to win now, or stick to a script that's already been torn apart on the field. So what do you think? Are Shannon Sharpe and Ocho right? Is Shedeur being unfairly held back despite proving he can lead? Are the Browns making a mistake by doubling down on Dylan Gabriel? Or is there a bigger game being played off the field that we're not seeing? Drop your thoughts below. This conversation isn't just about a quarterback battle. It's about the future of the Cleveland Browns.